Okay, welcome guys. This is Mr. Dehansan Ordinario. This is the second video for our environmental science subject, module 1. Okay, recap tayo ulit for the video that I have presented to you last day. Last day. Okay, so ito yung ating na-discuss sa module 1. So, punta tayo. Natapos natin yung overview, tapos natin yung learning outcomes, content discussion, discuss natin yan. So, nakapag-ask na rin tayo ng questions. So, nakita nyo dito yung teacher's take and trivia sa may gilid. Yan. We already discussed the 3 environmental attitudes. Tapos, kapag quiz na kayo, I believe, sa inyong sa Google Classroom. And if you have noticed, I already given you the link about our YouTube channel. Yeah. So, dito na tayo sa atmosphere. So, I believe you already read your module 1. So, last time, again tayo dito sa may atmosphere. So, let me ask you another question. Nag-chat tuloy yung PSU. Let me ask you another question about the atmosphere. So, what is atmosphere? Ano kaya yung tingin natin meaning ng ating word na atmosphere? Let me ask you another question to ponder before we continue to our next topic. So let's try it out once again. So what comes into your mind? What comes first into your mind when you hear the word atmosphere? So I believe you already write down your comments or your thoughts down below. And last time, we discussed about the atmosphere as a first part lang. So ngayon, atmosphere, one of the things to remember is the word meteorology. Okay? When we say meteorology, it is simply defined as the science of atmosphere and its weather condition. It's not about just the meteors. It's about the weather condition. Meteorology is the interrelation of the atmosphere, the land, and the ocean, makes meteorology an interdisciplinary science. So, if you remember, I have discussed to you what is the environmental science. It's a multidisciplinary sciences. Now, meteorology is of the same idea. So, it's interdisciplinary science. There are 2 basic features of meteorology. Our observation and prediction of weather. Meteorology is different from climatology. Ano nga yung difference ng climate at saka weather? So, weather is, sa Tagalog, ito, sa teacher's take, nandito sa may baba. So, kung nabasa nyo ito, nabanggit ko dito, what do you think are their differences? Climate, or kung tawagin sa Tagalog, climate, kung tawagin sa Tagalog ay klima, ay ang tag-ulan at tag-init. At sa kabilang banda naman, ang weather, anong ibig sabihin naman ng weather, sa Tagalog naman ay panahon, kung tawagin sa Tagalog, ay katulad ng mabilisang palit ng simoy ng hangin. So halimbawa, kaninang umaga ay sobrang init, biglang nagbago ang panahon at bumuhos ang ulan. That's actually the weather. So biglang nagbabago yung panahon. Whereas climate on the other hand, it's actually the staple weather condition. So yung klima. So dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, we have 2 main climate. What are those? So those are the rainy season and the dry season. Whereas on other countries like United States, they have at least 4. So meron silang winter, may spring, may summer, at saka may fall. Yeah, parang kanta. So, 2 basic features of meteorology. Nabanggit natin. Meteorology is different from climatology. The latter is the study of climate or a place or region of the foundation of its weather chronicles gathered over long periods of time. So, nabanggit natin kanina yan. So, atmosphere, on the other hand, it's a combination of all things on our air. So our atmosphere is still part of our biomes, and it is one of the reasons why we are still living. Kasi sa ibang atmosphere, sa ibang planet, hindi ka mabubuhay. So dito sa ating Earth, our atmosphere supports the oxygen, what is very important in our breathing process as a human being or as a living thing. Yan. So atmosphere, who wants to read? Okay, ako na lang. Atmosphere is a thin gaseous layer that surrounds the Earth. It is composed of 71% nitrogen, 28% oxygen, and 1% water vapor. So naniniwala ba tayo na may water sa ating atmosphere? Of course. Di ba? Clouds are actually a tiny tiny droplets of water vapor. So another thing to remember, atmosphere consists of argon, carbon dioxide, and other gases. The atmosphere also contains helium, neon, methane, and nitrous oxide in trace amounts. So another thing to remember, ozone. Sino familiar sa inyo? Sino nakarinig na ng word na ozone? Ozone is one of the very important trace gases. So it's actually a gas, Hindi siya yung liquid gas na nabibili natin sa mga gasoline station. When we say gas, it is actually, when we say gas, it's a gaseous state. Parang sa Tagalog hangin, kumbaga gas. Okay? So kasi it's a part of three states of matter. One thing to remember about ozone, it's very important trace gases which absorbs harmful ultraviolet radiation from the sun. So kung narinig nyo na before, masisira na yung ating ozone layer. Ano ba yung ating ozone layer? It's actually the part of the atmosphere that is protecting the Earth. So yun yung mga dapat nating maintindihan about ano ba ito? Dami nag-chat. So, what is UV? UV is the ultraviolet radiation from the sun. So, if you look directly at the sun, siyempre masisira ang iyong eyes. So, at the same concept, the sun is actually a very powerful light radiation. So, clouds of liquid water and ice crystals are also part of the atmosphere. Another thing to remember, nitrogen. What is nitrogen daw? It's one of the elements on our periodic table. Nitrogen is still the most abundant gas in the atmosphere. Being a non-reactive element, it undergoes natural with the bacteria in the soil as well as the nitrogen in plants and animals. So if you're an agriculture student, you would actually connect this idea or concept in your day-to-day crop management. Kasi yung nitrogen, one of the gases that is important in plant growth. So yung nitrogen in the air. And most especially when the lightning strikes, the plants are actually growing millimeters or centimeters taller kapag nagkikidlat or nagkakaroon ng lightning. Paano nangyayari yun? Diba? Patunayan ko sa inyo. Kapag ang mushroom kumidlat or kapag kumidlat ang mushroom ay nag-grow, lumalabas, di ba? So basically the idea is that the nitrogen in the air helps the plants grow, especially when the lightning strikes. So na-activate yung nitrogen sa air and the nitrogen is helping the plants to at least grow for a bit. Yan. So dito nababanggit na rin, nitrogen is still the most abundant gas in the atmosphere. Okay, don't get me wrong, it's not the oxygen that is abundant in the air, but it is the element nitrogen. So nitrogen, being a non-reactive element and undergoes natural with the bacteria in the soil as well as nitrogen in plants and animals. So meron din tayong tinatawag na nitrogen fixing bacteria. So yung mga bacteria na ito yung nag-fix ng nitrogen sa ating air. Through the process of photosynthesis in plants, the carbon dioxide oxygen balance preserved. It may be apparent, when we say apparent, it's very obvious. It may be apparent that carbon dioxide is present in small quantity but has a great deal, especially its effects on climate condition in the world. So what are the two climates nga dito sa ating bansa, sa Pilipinas? Ano ang dalawang climate? Two climate condition is the rainy season and the dry season. So sa ibang bansa, there are 4 climate condition. So one thing to remember though is that the most important process that happens in our world or in our, in our lifetime is that the process of, the process of photosynthesis. I need to reiterate it to you once more kasi photosynthesis is the most important process that happens in our lifetime. Paano nangyaring the most important process? You would ask me, sir, education is one of the important processes. Yes, it is. But photosynthesis is the ones processing all the sun's energy into a convertible form of energy or usable form of energy. Paano nangyari yun? Earth needs energy to survive. Okay, di ba? Actually, we as humans are part of the animal kingdom or plants. And all things that are moving without the presence of gravity, of course, needs energy. So, if you're going to need or if you're going to use energy, you're gonna need it from a source. And what is the main source of energy? The main source of energy is none other than, of course, that's the sun itself. Kasi sun has a powerful energy because of the heat. Okay? In physics, heat is equivalent to energy. And when we say heat, sun has a lot of it, diba? So, the heat from the sun travels in the light. Light is a radiant energy that is coming from the sun. So, trivia, gaano tayo kalayo from the sun? We are 93 million miles from the sun. The Earth's distance from the sun is 93 million miles. And the sun is traveling, the sun's energy is traveling through light. Okay? So, how much time does light needs to travel from the sun going to the earth? 8 minutes. Okay? So, it will travel 8 minutes from the sun going through the process of, transportation. Diba? So, 8 minutes siya magta-travel papunta dito sa earth. And that travels, yun na yun sa tawag na traveling at the speed of light. And speed of light, as another trivia, it's 300,000 kilometers per second. So, nag-travel ka, if you're traveling at the speed of light, kaya pag sinasabi, if you're going to travel to Mars, diba, going to travel to other spaces, ang tawag doon sa distance is speed of light. Kasi hindi na siya kilometers. Diba? Hindi na siya basta kilometers or Mach. It's traveling at the speed of light. If you're going to travel 1 second sa outer space, 1 second speed of light, what is the distance? The distance is 300,000 kilometers. Alright? Okay. I know you got it right. So photosynthesis is very important. I need to give emphasis on this because photosynthesis is the ones converting the photons or the light energy into usable form of energy. Ano yung usable form of energy sa atin? It's the glucose, okay? Or the dextrose. Sir, ano yung dextrose? Yan ba yung nilalagay yung swero? Yes, it is. Di ba? Pero you don't need a lot of it from, sasaksakan ka pa dito sa magpapaswero ka pa. When you eat food, it will be digested by our stomach. It will be digested by our digestive system. And it will be converting it into smaller pieces until it will become a monosaccharide form or the glucose. And that is the one that is usable. A usable form of energy in our cells. Yun lang yung kayang i-digest ng ating cells. So, imagine if you're eating a fried chicken or if you're eating rice, it's not a usable form of energy yet. But you need to convert it into the smaller pieces or smaller amounts. And that is what you call the monosaccharide form. So, if you would imagine light converted into the plants, kasi yung plant's leaf is the ones converting, or is the ones harboring the process, or as a medium for photosynthesis process. Kino-convert niya yung light energy into a glucose. So, imagine from light, ito yung leaf. So, napunta dun yung light, and it will be converted, it will be stored. The energy is stored on the leaf of the plant. Now, the leaf of the plant will be eaten by a grazing animal, for example, a goat or a cow or cattle, di ba? Now, mapupunta yung leaf, yung energy from the sun going to the leaf, going to the cattle or going to the cow. Tapos, kinatay mo yung baka, kinain mo yung karne ng baka. Or, let's say, ininom mo yung milk from the cow. So that is a transformation of energy from the sun going to the plant, going to the cattle or the cow, and going to you. Now, after that, you will be processing the nutrients to your digestive system, and it will become a glucose once again. So it will be used by our cells. So photosynthesis is very important. So let me ask you another question to ponder. If carbon dioxide is a waste product of our respiration process, what do you think will happen to our world in the absence of carbon dioxide? So ano kaya mangyayari? So tingin natin, if carbon dioxide is a waste, what is the importance of carbon dioxide? Or what will happen to our world in the absence of carbon dioxide? One of the planets of our solar system that is very high in carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is Venus. Okay? So, our Earth, Venus, and Mars, yan magkakadikit. Anong katabi dati ng Mercury? Anong katabi dati ng Mercury? Do exam. Ngayon, hindi na. Okay. Hindi na nila katabi. Wala, nag-alis na yung do exam din. Anyway, Mercury, Mars, tapos may Venus, tapos Earth, di ba? So, ang point ko dito, in the absence of carbon dioxide, what will happen kaya sa ating mundo? Okay, imagine. Imagine a room full of people. Or let's say, a single person. Tapos malakas yung aircon. Malamig, isn't it? Tama, malamig. Pero pag marami tayo nasa loob ng room na may aircon, tapos lahat tayo nag-i-exhale ng ating mga hininga, our exhalation process is actually expiring, diba? The carbon dioxide, the oxygen that we use in our lungs, and then when we blow it, diba, binuga na natin, it's actually carbon dioxide. Now, if all of us are breathing doon sa loob ng room, the room will eventually be warm. Magiging mainit-init siya ng kaunti yung ating room. It's because of the carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is actually producing heat on our surroundings. Kapag wala ng carbon dioxide, ano mangyayari? Lalamig yung ating mundo. Or wala ng sun, lalamig yung ating mundo. So we need carbon dioxide. At the same time, carbon dioxide is needed by the plants. Diba? So our waste product is their brand new product na kailangan nila, so as they can give us oxygen. So yung plants na ito, kailangan ng carbon dioxide from us, humans, or from animals, so as they can produce oxygen once again. So that waste product of the plant, ang waste product ng plants naman are oxygen. So ngayon, the oxygen is what we need. So we need to collaborate with plants pala, no? So the more plants that we have, the more we will become plantita or plantito. Diba, mahilig na yung mga tita natin sa mga plants, lalo na yung mga middle-aged persons. Ngayon, magtanim ka ng badyang, mamahalin na yung badyang, nasa 50,000. And then, so if carbon dioxide is a waste product of our respiration process, what do you think will happen to our world in the absence of carbon dioxide? Plants will die, right? Kapag wala ng carbon dioxide, they cannot survive. So, one of the quest of the people in the planet Earth is to explore other planets like Mars, di ba? They are looking for ways on how to di ba? Namatay. So, babalik tayo dyan. Yan. Okay. They are looking for ways paano makapunta sa ibang planets like Mars. But in areas like planet Mars, bakit kaya walang plants? It's because walang humans, right? Walang animals. So kapag walang plants doon, ibig sabihin wala ding animals, di ba? Kasi they work together, they collaborate, or they need each other. It's a mutual relationship of plants and animals, like humans, you know. They need us, we need them as well. So in the planet that is, or in the planet where plant and animals are absent, it's because wala yung isa't isa doon. So kung lalagyan natin ng tao doon, we need to plant plants, right? We need to plant trees so as they can convert carbon dioxide from us and it will become oxygen later on for us then, diba? So that is one of the quests. So as of today's atmosphere has become vital part of the earth and which supports life. However, with the dynamic world that the atmosphere is exploited in such way, it has also being degraded. On the other hand, if and only if we humans would manage to preserve and sustain our atmosphere, the next generation will still experience the beauty of life. So without carbon dioxide, the Earth would have an average temperature of negative 18 degrees Celsius. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo kanina. So the Earth atmosphere will become cooler or lalamig, negative 18 degrees Celsius. However, the increasing volume of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere also cause a huge increase in global temperature since carbon dioxide is considered greenhouse gas. Okay? So, the main point, hindi pwedeng walang carbon dioxide, hindi din pwedeng sobra ang carbon dioxide. So, sabi daw, if you're a student, sabi lagi ng teachers natin, don't come late because you're wasting other people's time. Don't come early because you're wasting your time. So, ano ang lesson? Come on time. So on the other hand, or in the same concept, we need to have the same amount of carbon dioxide in the middle. So in a neutral amount. So kapag kulang ang carbon dioxide, lalamig ang ating Earth. Kapag sobra naman ang carbon dioxide natin, tataas naman ang temperature natin. Okay? So the point is, we need to have the same amount of carbon dioxide on the atmosphere. So, paano tayo makakatulong as a human being? So, ano yung paraan natin para makatulong? So, we need to be an environmentalist, look for ways on how to improve ourselves and how to help the community. So, yun. Ito yung composition of atmosphere. Meron tayong exosphere, thermosphere, mesosphere, stratosphere, and troposphere. Ito yung composition kayo ng atmosphere natin. Meron tayong 1% dito ng I think other gases and 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen. Yeah. So simple facts about the troposphere, the stratosphere, and mesosphere. You can read it na lang. It's just the layers of the atmosphere. And teachers think, as you have read the lessons above, it's all about the layers of the atmosphere. These layers play an important role and functions just like the ionosphere, where the phone signals occur at a very important tool in our present communication. So, paano naging important daw ang ating atmosphere in our communication process. There is a level in the atmosphere, especially the ionosphere. The ionosphere part is the ones, actually, ito yung nagbabato, ano? Ito yung nagre-reflect ng ating mga signals. If you call somebody, this is your cell phone, give me an example of the phone. Ayan, nandyan sa harap ko. Wala akong phone. If you're going to call somebody, and the phone signals or the frequencies will redirect to the cell site. The cell site will redirect its signals to the satellite. The satellites will go to the ionosphere of the part of the atmosphere. Siya kasi yung punong-puno ng electrons, ng ions doon sa ating atmosphere, no? And ito yung nagbabato sa ibang areas, di ba? So if you don't know how the telecommunication works, it is actually our atmosphere that is helping how to transport wave signals, okay? So yung frequencies from one cell phone going to the cell site, going to the satellite, and throwing the signals going through the ionosphere, and ionosphere will repeat the process vice versa. So I hope you learned something today. This is our second video of our module 1. The practice quizzes andito. So I'll be posting our second quiz on our Google Classroom. And sa mga classmates na hindi pa nakakanood ng ating video, encourage them to watch our video 1 and then video 2, and stand by for my links for our Google Forms on our quizzes. So I'll see you guys next video. Keep posted and keep safe. Bye-bye. Oh, subscribe. Bye.